Thank you so much. Actually, it's a privilege to be here in Kalmar. This is first time for me here in Kalmar. And thank you for coming to listen to my story. I want actually to start with a short video. So this is where the views from my city, and this is my voice, and here is my story. My story, the little girl who grew up with a dream to be a singer and sing for love and peace, and my destiny took me away to stand in front of people today to talk about war and death and violation. So actually, I was born in the small village in the Sabir mountain in a city called Taiz in Yemen. Especially, I grew up in this house, and I want to just make it a little bit. Yes, this house. I grew up in this house in a poor family. My father has asthma, and my mom struggling a lot to feed us and to educate us. As a female, I suffered a lot from the discrimination and inequality, and that's what made me refuse my gender. When I realized differences between male and female, I refused my gender and started act as a boy. And I changed my name from Fahima, that was my first name, Fahima, which means smart girl, to Fahim, which means also smart boy. So I keep to act like a boy, and this is didn't change anything. They still deal with me as a female till my 20s, when I started read and thinking a lot about differences between male and female, and I found female is a beautiful creature, just like a butterfly, just like a flower, just like everything beautiful in this earth. Then I accept my gender, and I choose a very beautiful name for me, which Maha, which mean actually a deer. Maha in Arabic mean a deer, and it's famous in Arabic countries. There are a lot of poets who wrote poems about the beautiful eyes of the deer and the agility. So actually, as a female, I struggling a lot for education, and I described it my battle with education because it was a battle, and I survived a lot to get my education. I went to school when I were only 5 years old, and our school, it was new. My older sister and brother go to school 1 year before me. And then I was curious, I want to go to school, and my mom took me to school and asked them to register me, but they refused because I was just a little girl, 5 years old. But my mom insisted and told them to ask me any question. They did, and then I answered all the question in mathematics and religion, reading, and they accept me. Actually, in the same year, community inspection community came to the school, and they gathered all the students. My teacher hiding me behind him, but I was curious. I wanted to know what's going on. I came out from his legs, and the community saw me. And then being angry, were angry because they accept a legal egg in the school. My teacher asked them to ask me any question, and they did. I answered the question, they being surprised, and they give me an exception to continue my education. And when I moved to the second grade, the student in the third grade couldn't solve the mathematics question. And then their teacher invited me to come and solve this question. And I did. I don't know how, but I did. If anyone now asks me to solve a mathematics question, actually I can't, but I don't know how to do it that time. So their teacher decided to move me from second grade to third grade without any exam. In that year, around 20 girls left the school because they found a love letter written by the girl to the boy, and that's what made the family angry and said girls shouldn't be educated. That's what they will learn if they get education. And they left only me and my sister and a few girls who stay in the school and continue our education. In sixth grade, the school administration decided to honor the outstanding student, and they asked the teachers to nominate the names for students. All the teachers in the school choose my name. Only 2 teachers, they were from my village, they delete my name, and they prevent me to come and participate in the ceremony. Actually, the school was quite close from my house, and I was watching all the ceremony from my window. And when I saw them, so the outstanding student get their gifts and certificate, it was actually painful and breaking heart. And then I cried. My older sister saw me and rushed to my parents and told them that I'm sad because they ignored me. And my father said, "Don't worry, I will buy a gift for you." And then I pretend that it doesn't matter for me, it's indifference for me. Actually, in that year, I took the first place in the school, and I had to move to distance school because our school was only the primary school. So for this reason, there are a lot of girls left the school because their families don't allow them to go studying in distance school. My father, who promised me to buy a gift, he forgotten his promise, and instead that he refused to go to allow me and my sister to go to complete our education in distance school. And he explained that no one in our village that let his daughters go and continue their education in distance school. Maybe it's good for you if you stay home and helping your mom with domestic work. And it will be good if I buy a cow for you and you care about it. But my mom refused that and insist to complete our education. And we went to far away school to complete our education. It was hard. It was so far school. Maybe it took 3 hours go and back, and with hard time and weather, hot, rain, sometimes windy, sometimes starvation. That we had not our breakfast. We don't have pocket money to eat something. We complete our education without any complaint, because if we did, my father would say, no, it's not necessary to go. So the people in our village start talking about us and about my mom. She's a silly mom. She's stupid mom. Why she educate her daughters? Blah 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 blah. And my older brother, affected by what the people say in the community, and came home and doing problem for us and for our mom, and sometimes beat us. It was hard time. My brother and sister, they failed in the middle school, and I kept success and go on till secondary school. In the last stage in the secondary school, it were only 2 months till a final exam. The war broke out between two villages about the water well, and starting fighting each other. When I went out with other students, they fired us, and I got shock in my back, and then I survived from the death because it was serious in that time. Actually, I survived from the death, but I suffering a lot from physical and psychological pain. I couldn't study. I didn't well in my exam, so I got low marks in the very important stage in my life. I couldn't even tell my family about that, because I feel shameful as a girl who always superior and outstanding student in the very important stage in my life. I got only low marks. I wanted actually to study in dentistry or media. There are no media college in my city, but in dentistry was so expensive, and my marks didn't allow me to enter this field. So I chose to study diploma computer, and my older brother helped me. She was starting to work with the Red Crescent Association, and I joined as well as a volunteer. When I complete my studying, I tried to get a job, but it was difficult because in my country that time, and now it is worse, but that time it was high unemployment. So I couldn't. I started to work with the Red Crescent Association as a first aid trainer. So this is a photo from my work as a first aid trainer. And then I got a job with the dental center as a secretary till Arab Spring Revolution in Yemen in 2011. So in that time, the government employed around 60,000 persons. I was the one among them. And I started working in a media field as a secretary. And they decided in the governor office, they decided to send a few employees to the radio station. I insist to be with them. They sent me with these employees till radio station, and unfortunately we were unwelcomed in the radio station because they thought that we were replace them, and they were unhelpful people. They put me first in the library to order and organize some book and CDs, so it was a boring work actually. Then I decided to start to field work and learn myself how to be a reporter. I go and started working as a reporter, and I met my yes, this is my. I met my best friend. She called Naim. She's a journalist, and she learned me how to write news and reporters and everything like this. I tried to struggle to succeed in this field actually. So another person who helped me, after one employee in the radio station said, our program is like our clothes. No one can wear, only us. That means you are unwelcome here. And this is a man, I called him Uncle Muhammad. He was like my uncle. He gave me his program. It was a locally news program daily. He gave me his program. I started to work in this program, and later I work with a popular program and with the Dublag series for kids, for children. Unfortunately, this man died 2 months ago. Mercy for him. So I built my media name quickly and became famous in my city. And then I started working with the newspaper and websites, and I presented also my TV program. It was a youth talk show which discussed the problem for youth in my country. Actually, it was the real achievement and important achievement for me. It was that I affected my village and my community. All the women that who stop education, they back to education, and I make families believe in women education. All of them, they started to educate their daughters, and they believe in power of education and believe in the women education. Actually, until now, all of them, they back to study, and they struggling a lot for education, even if they poor families, because they saw me how much I support my family. I took them from the poverty, and they believe in women education, in the empowerment of education. Actually, I talk about education and how much I struggling for it. Actually, my mom, it was behind me, as I said earlier. I has a great mom actually, but she was a sad mom because she was abused woman. She lost her mom when she was a kid, and she grew up with her 4 sisters, with her father and her stepmom, who banished them and upset them and torture them. That's what affected her so much. I always saw her crying and tell us about the sad story about stepmom, how to try to rid off stepchildren. Actually, this environment affect me as well. I was sad as well when I saw my mom crying. It's good if we have a great mom, but I think it's very important that we have a happy mom. That would help us to enjoy the life. So I couldn't be happy anymore because always I saw my mom sad. I promised myself that I will help mom and I will make her laugh. I will make her happy. So, but I think my mom learned me a very important lesson, that how to feel the others and suffering for others. Actually, now there are a lot of abused women in Yemen and abused mom, sad children. Actually, I see my mom tears in the eyes of the miserable women and children. I see my lost dream that I lost because the inequality in my community in the faces of the children actually. So I told you that I survived many times from the death, and to be honest, I was sad why I survived from the death. As well as I wanted to get off this miserable life and ended the hard journey. But I was survived from the death because there are people who need me, who need my help, because I have a responsibility for these people, because I'm here, because I have a mission today. I'm here in this period of time not to live my dream and enjoy my life. I have a responsibility for these people who need me. Actually, my nation now, they live a hard time, a darkness period of time. It's a war. You know what's mean the war. It's not the only war by weapons. It's a war by many tools and different kind of tools: starvation, disease, deterioration of economy and education. Today there are around 95% of students out of school. What this mean? This mean my country will live for a decade in darkness. All this generation who lost his dream, and our youth who drove them to the death without any military training. So we are in the difficult period of time, and I think we have a big responsibility in this time to help those people in need. Actually, this war touched me personally. I'm here sometimes. I said, why I escaped from the death? Why I'm here? Maybe I should to came to back to my country and survive and suffering with my nation and my people and my family and dead with them. But I said no. They don't want a new number added to the list of victims. They need someone who give them helping hand. They need someone who rise up their voices and show up the violation that others committed against them. This war actually touched me personally because I suffering a lot from this war. I lost my home. I lost my job. I lost my brother, actually, who chose to go and fighting against Houthi militia when they killed our neighbors. They killed 6 members of our neighbors. It were only kids and women and old men, and he chose to go and fighting against Houthi militia, and they put him fighting in the first line without any military training, and this is another crime they committed against youth as well. So I lost also my friend Raham al-Badr. She was they killed her when she was distribute humanitarian aid for people in need in my city. I lost also my 5 members of my cousin, young men, all of them, and my colleague in the media field. So we're suffering a lot from this war, and we lost a lot in this war, and we still suffering. We still lose a family and friends. So then I was threatened in my city by the Houthi militia, and I choose to leave my country I choose Malaysia because Malaysia, it was the only country that allowed Yemeni people to enter without a visa and give them a social visa to stay, but without any financial aid. That's what make it difficult. I had there a tough time actually. I had some friend there who helped me. Then I applied to ICORN. ICORN is an organization who try to protect journalists and writers, artists, cartoonists, musicians. I think ICORN has 65 cities around the world, most of them in Europe and most of them in Sweden. It's 25 cities in Sweden. crowding Växjö, including Växjö, but I don't know Kalmar if they have any guest, icon guest. So then after 6 months, I was lucky actually. I was hosted by a great country like Sweden and a wonderful city actually like Växjö, and I came to Sweden. To be honest, when I was applying, I wish if I came to Sweden, actually, and I was lucky that I came. Since I came, I got a warm welcome, actually. When we heard Allah arfalkomna, that you are in Sweden, where man can touch real humanity and embraced with freedom. That's the icon, peaceful, the icon for Sweden. Be proud of it. So I have our warm welcome, and I had also a media attention. First, Mosaic, they have an interview with me, and also Smålands Posten is a famous newspaper in Växjö, in Småland, I think. Also Sverige Radio, and then SVT report, and that's helped me to get a job in Mosaic. It's a newspaper published with 3 languages, Arabic and English and Swedish, and I am responsible about the Arabic section, and write article sometimes about my country, sometimes about another topic in Swedish, and doing interview with immigrants, a good model of immigrants. So also I try to get new skills and learn myself new things in Sweden. I try to study svenska. I prata lite, men also develop my English. When I came, I was just a little bit to speak in English, and then I think I'm a little better than before. So I also doing participating in Carol Oscar Festival, doing the Culture Yemeni Day. It was in Carol Oscar. We embodies clothes, traditional clothes. Like today, I wear the traditional clothes because I am old-fashioned woman, and I like actually culture diversity. That's what I hope if here in Sweden they invest this field, culture diversity in I think this will support another fields like tourism and economic and trade as well. So they were traditional clothes and food, music. It was lovely actually. This is from the events. So now I have a big opportunity that I have encouragement actually. I will write first novel. It will be a first book for me. It is a real story about the violence against women. It's a documentary. And as I said, this has touched me personally because I suffered from discrimination as well. And also I plan to do a campaign, a detonation campaign for kids in Yemen who lost their limbs in the war. And I hope it will be succeed, and I know I'm not alone here. So I think I had a lot of things in Sweden, and I learned a lot of things as well. I was lucky that I was hosted by a great country like Sweden. Actually, when I meet people from different countries, they said, tell me that you seems like Jordan, you seems like Morocco, you seems like Syria, you seems like Afghanistan, Pakistan, you seems like Somalia, Eritrea, you seems like Moscow, you seems like Mexico. That make me happy because I feel that I belong to all the world. Actually, when I meet someone that feel that I belong to him or her, that's make me happy. And actually, no one tell me that I seems like Swedish, but but I have something in common with this Finnish. Actually, we share with the same value and faithful actually, with human rights, with freedom. We same. That's enough for me that we share this great things. So, thank you for listening.
I had the opportunity to sit with Maha before and listen to an interview. And then she was telling that women in Europe and especially in Sweden are very independent and strong women. But I just have to say, since we heard her history now, we have to say here we have got a really independent and strong woman sitting just beside us and sharing her story with us. I didn't know how to prepare myself for this interview because it's quite hard. I didn't want to talk about war. I wanted to know more about you, but that was hard too because it's not too many articles about that. But in the end, I found something that at least touched me. So you wrote this article in Mosaic about an appointment with life. And where you describe your arrival to Sweden, how welcoming people are, and that you I got that feeling that you fell in love with this country a little bit, maybe,
Yeah.
and how much it helped you to become the person you are today, a strong woman, also who has got a voice, and. Maybe you like, I mean, you already talked about that, but maybe you like to talk a little bit more about that to the public and describe this feeling a little bit more, because for us it's very different to think about war and discrimination and so.
Actually, when I came to Sweden, the first thing that I was surprised about how people are kind here in Sweden, and the warm welcome that I get when I came. That's make me so grateful. And I started to see how women in Sweden live and how powerful and strong she is comparing by women in Yemen. It's nothing, because Yemeni women, it's as I said, is suffering from the domestic violation and rule in the community, and it's independent. That's what make her weak and couldn't manage her life. I can say that women in Yemen, that they don't care about the most women in Yemen. They don't care what happened in the world, about economy, about political. They don't know and they don't care, because all think that they care just husband and kids and neighbors and family. And so that's what make her weak, when she only depending in her husband, and live in fear that her husband marries again from a wife. I think it's something not good when I spend all my life to just make a person pleased, while I have a big responsibility in my community, for kids, for youth, for every field. As a women activist, when I try to speak about the women freedom and women should be independent, the women who start to attack me before the men, because they don't know that they have a right to right in education and right in to build community, to participate, to contribute in the community actually, and they don't know they have a right to have a home, to have a car, to have a bank account, to learn different kind of language, to live, to travel. So that's what they did. They cover our head and our mind in the same time. and they just keep us to thinking about tiny things, and left the big role for us in the community and in the life as well. Yeah.
But do we have to think about it like these women are living more in the rural areas, or will we find women like this also in cities and like modern areas?
Yeah, it depends on the families. There are some families are supportive families, and there are not. And I think the traditional law control everything in the country. Even if a family let her daughter to do something, the community attacked.
Yeah. It's quite different life.
Actually.
Yeah. And during your speech here, I really liked some. I liked it all. Some special thoughts that you had, because you said, "I'm not here to live my dream," because usually we say, "I'm here to live my dream." You should live your dream, but you see your life as a responsibility to other people around you.
Yeah.
And this is really nice and really different from a lot of people, I would say, all around the world. And I admire it, to say it like this.
So when I said I'm not here to live my dream, I wanted to live my dream, but not for me, for people who need me.
This can be a dream too. I mean, it mustn't
a freedom, everything that I get, I want to use it to help the people that in need. A woman, a girl who lost their dream as well. Maybe I'm here today. I can't achieve my dream truly, but there are a lot of girls that they lost a dream to be a doctor, to be a teacher, to be a political, but they can't. So I have to help.
Yeah.
Everybody, I think, have to help.
Yeah, and everyone has a responsibility, of course.
Actually, yeah.
And you were also talking about, like, you see yourself as the world citizens, not like you are not. I mean, of course, you are a person from Yemen, but you are not like, you doesn't want to be seen as one. You can be this one, and you would fit in everywhere. You would like to be part everywhere, wherever you come. So
actually, when I came to Sweden, I don't feel that I'm a stranger, because people, they deal with me. I'm not a stranger. That's a good feeling actually, and I feel I'm a part of this country from the first moment, because I said earlier that there are something in common. We share the same value. That's what makes me comfortable. I see Swedish people care a lot about what happened in Yemen, about what happened around the world. Actually, they always said there are two hands destroyed and the other hand building, and they see Hispanics always have the building hand, and the hand that spring love and peace around the world. I'm so proud to be among you, actually. And that's a good feeling. When they talking about home, what is the home? There are, in Arabic countries, says the home where is the heart. So here I found my heart. So it's here my home. That's the feeling, that what I wrote in my article.
Yes, that's really nice. Now I forgot what I wanted to ask you, because I wasn't prepared for that. I'm just touched by your story. I mean, talking about a girl who went to school 5 years old, even too young to start school, and then having this ceremony for outstanding students, and not being able to be a part of it.
Because this is a story. Sorry for interrupting, but I mentioned this story because this is a story affect me as much as you can imagine, and push me to continue and insist to be something in one day, to achieve my dream.
Exactly, and here you can see what kind of woman you are, how strong you are, and I would say even your mother, who always was there for you, even though she was a very sad woman, she had the strength to help you and your siblings to get an education and to get stronger.
Actually,
So, and also the knowing that if you would complain about your education, knowing that, as I understood it now, then someone else would say, yes, then it isn't necessary, then you don't need to have any education at all.
Yeah.
So don't complain. So these are really strong words, and I think no one of us, not our children, or can even imagine how that would feel.
Actually, I wanted to say that for Swedish kid and youth. So they are lucky. They have supportive families and community, high standard education and free, and they can be whatever they want. They have to work hard, and I think there are another nation who couldn't be like them. They need their help as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I see it in the same way.
Yeah.
So.
Ja, jättefint att göra här på er samtal. Och nu så ska vi se, nu är det lugnt, jag skulle ha den i fickan. Okej, nu så släpper vi, om ni har några frågor i publiken så får ni låna denna mick. Säg gärna namnet, det är alltid trevligt. Jag springer och lyfter fram den. Så, är det någon som har något på hjärtat? Någon fråga? Du har en fråga, Anders?
Då sitter jag med den här också. Men jag kan...
Jag tror det bara ska hålla den mot munnen.
Jaha, okej.
Nej.
Väldigt nära.
Väldigt nära.
Hallå? Nej. Ät upp den. Ja. Nej, jag ställer mig.
I hear you.
Jag tänkte bara höra, Maha, vad händer? Du har ju uppehållstillstånd nu 2 år. You have a permission to stay here for 2 years. What will happen next? What would you like to happen?
I have permission to stay for 2 years, and from now on I have only 6 months to my scholarship will end. Actually, I will apply for a permanent residency, and I will stay in Sweden because I think my journey is starting now, another journey, and I will be not alone. All svenska will be with me. So I will stay here. Because here there are people who estimate and value human rights and freedom. So I have a reason to be here. I have to fight against people who broke the law and committed a crime against my nation. And I think I will be here safe, and I can continue my job and express myself. And I think I will get support that I need here in Swedish. So I will stay. Yeah. It's my pleasure, actually.
Ja, är det någon mer som är redo för någon fråga? Varsågod. Och det är bara att sätta micken i munnen.
I just wanted to ask you, how is your thoughts of the situation in Yemen now? What do you think of future and the war? It's a big question.
Yeah, I think, as I said earlier, we live in the darkness situation in Yemen now, and there are no resolution that can make to stop the war. I think if the world leaders wanted to stop the war will stop, because they take advantage from this war in Yemen. And I said earlier also about the education, and about economy, about the generation. When they now rape the kids and arrested women, and what's kind that a generation that we wait for, the generation will be full with hate. The raped generation and full with hate, and the only language that know weapons, the only language they know and can use only weapons. So I think even if the war will stop, the problems will continue, and we will live in backwardness for a decade and long time, because it's not a war just only for a short period of time with weapons. It's a war for long time, and yeah, we will suffering for a decade later. Yeah.
And what would you say is needed to make the war stop? And what is the big question about this war? What do you think is the real reason for this war?
It's a big question, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, there are historical dimension and political dimension as well. This war is not. Some people think it's a religion war. No, it's bigger than that. There are strategical. Actually, there are leader wars. They have agenda in this war, and actually the coalition they have agenda in this war. It's about the strategies area in Yemen, and achieve the political goal in Yemen to divide Yemen and to control the strategic area like Aden port and island. Socotra Island is the beautiful island in the world. I think this is the real reason for it, and it is, as I said, it's about the world leader. We said always say there are a player, international player, who control everything that behind. So it's not that what we see in media. It's deeper than that. And it's difficult actually. And about the historical thing, the Houthi who control the north now, I think this is the historical things, because this group of people, they claim that they have divine rights to control, and they said they have a blood connection with the Prophet Muhammad, and that they have a right to control and to be a rule. And they want to back Yemen before 1962, when it was Imam who is Hashimi, and he was believe in this ideology, divine rights to rule. And south of Yemen it was under the British control. So now it's the same. The history repeat itself. Now the north under the control of Houthi, and the south under the control of Arab Emirates. So this is a reason. It's about political and strategic and historical as well.
Just another question about your clothes. Can you tell us something
Yes,
about
thank you for asking about this. I said I'm old-fashioned woman. I like traditional clothes. Actually, not just only my country, any country that any clothes. Maybe next time I will wear the Swedish traditional. I think I talk about cultural diversity. I think it's quite important here in Swedish. Because it will enrich the Swedish culture. Some people will think, no, it will cancel the Swedish culture. I don't think so. I think the cultural diversity, it will reach the Swedish culture, and if they invest it in different kind of field like tourism and trade and economy, I think it will be very good and give a chance for those who try to show these differences, because we came from this traditional, and culture is part of us, and culture always like a mirror reflect everything about us. So I think we have to mix this different kind of culture to get a very beautiful new culture. I have to take from you and take from me, and then it will be very, very good. Just like any country that have different kind of culture and culture diversity. So this is from my country. It's traditional from my country, and my country has also different kind of culture, different kind traditional, different kind food, accent, profile, climate. Everything is different. From city to city, we were different, and our accent it's different, and our food different. Our faces are different. Climate it also different from south to the north. So I like to show this and embody these things. Yeah. Maybe next time I will. I try actually, but I don't know where's the affärer who, made this thing Swedish traditional. I like it. Actually. I have also always I have feeling that I belong to the last time. Maybe I were there. I don't know. I try to look about myself in everything old building, and something like this. Yeah, I'm a classic woman.
Anders?
Ja, det funkar inte ändå. Jag tar upp det hjälper inte.
Det tar en liten stund, verkar det som.
I thought about, you said religion is not a part of this war, or a very small part of the war anyway. What about religion and women's rights? Could you say something about that?
Yeah, actually everything that people doing, they use the name of their religion. Always the religion has to be responsible about all this stupid thing. I don't think that there is something in the religion that prevented women to do anything. As I'm a Muslim, I can do whatever I want. There are rules against what I can say, the rights of others. Don't break the law and they try to attack or take the rights of others. This is the most important part. But I think the most thing happened in my country against women is about culture, not religion. Because I'm a Muslim, I read the Quran. There are a lot of things is not in Quran. They doing it, people doing it. It's about culture. The most thing is about culture. Because there are Malaysia, it's a Muslim country, but there are no violence against women like Saudi Arabia, like Yemen, like another Muslim countries. But Arabic countries, they have a culture and traditional laws. They try to practice it in our countries.
Här har vi. Nu ska vi se, måste jag testa den här.
Det hjälper inte.
Det hjälper inte. Om jag trycker på den där ska vi se om det hjälper.
Is there polygamy in Yemen?
Ja, det är.
Can a man marry several women?
Yeah, can women marry several women, but there are a condition. But men, they take out this condition out and just say this is our right in the religion to marry four women. Actually, there are two conditions. The first condition, if you want to marry another woman, it should have Orvian. I will explain it more. If there are women, her husband died and she has Orvian. Orphan, yeah. Orphans. This man has right to marry her to rise up her orphan. But there are another condition, justice between women, and in Quran said man can never and ever do justice between women. So the condition it can't be chief. So they can't. But men, when they talk about this right, they don't mention the condition that they can't.
Ja, har vi några fler frågor? Vi ska kolla där. Ja, du vill ställa en fråga till?
Yes,
Välkommen.
yes. Can a woman live alone with her children?
Yeah, surely, but I said women in Yemen is independent. That's what make her weak and can't live alone. Because if she divorced, she had to back to her family, and her family who will just support her, and they can't support her children. That's why her children they stay with the fathers. This is about laws, and women must to be independent to can help herself, and it's a big role in divorce in Yemen. Actually, the woman afraid a lot about divorce because she can't handle herself, because she is independent. If she is independent, it's no problem. Can live and can rise her kids, no problem at all. But it's about also the traditional. Women shouldn't live alone. That's about.
So widows marry someone else. Widows don't live alone either. When their husband has died.
If husband died and her children, she can live alone. Yeah, she can. But divorce, she must back to family and live with the family. Yeah. That's what we fight about. That we said women she must to be free and independent, and she live whatever she want and traveling, get education, everything, just to be a normal human being. Yeah. Yeah, and we try to get this equal citizenship as well.
Jag tror Frauke hade eventuellt en fråga till.
Nej.
Nej, det var inte det. Det var inte det. Nu, titta här. Det finns plötsligt lite. Men då är det nog så att vi ska avsluta. Nu vet jag inte riktigt om vi gör. Tar man blommorna först eller applåden först?
Blommorna och applåder.
Okej, då så.
A big thank you from us.
Wow!
Sunflowers.
Thank you!
From the library?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.